Hello and welcome to this episode of the Sticky Note Marketing Show. I'm your host, Mary Czarnecki, and today I am thrilled to introduce you to Lauren Shaw, one half of the Lauren and Lauren team, who is better known as the Laurens. They are the powerhouse duo behind a groundbreaking approach to high-ticket sales and AI-driven business growth. I'm so excited to dig into this with Lauren today, and I hope you have your sticky notes ready because she is going to be sharing some insider information, tips, and gold nuggets all about how you can get the most out of AI, some of the mistakes and how to fix them, about how people are using AI with their sales process and their messaging development. And you just are not going to believe the information she's going to share with us. So welcome, Lauren. So excited to have you here on the show with us today.
Thank you, Mary. Happy to be here.
Awesome. I know I gave a brief intro and a little teaser to the folks that are joining us today, but some people may know you well already. Some people may be meeting you for the first time. So, for those of our listeners or watchers who are getting familiar with you just for the first time, give us a little intro to what it is you and Lauren do and how you got to where you are now.
Okay. Yeah. So Lauren and I actually were best friends first before we became business partners. And her background is in aerospace engineering. So she was literally a rocket scientist designing parts for rockets that go into space for 11 years. And I've been an entrepreneur for over 18 years now. So I've had multiple businesses that I've grown and scaled and some even sold. And after one of my longest businesses that I had, I wanted to get into online business instead of actual physical products and manufacturing and that kind of thing. Around when ChatGPT came out, I had already been learning online business for about 5 years at that point, doing sales for several eight-figure online business coaches. So I got a ton of expertise and knowledge and just experience with that. And then Lauren and I, we both got to a point where we were feeling burnt out in the careers that we were in. And of course, ChatGPT, November 2022, came out and we saw this amazing opportunity. And with her engineering and analytical brain and my sales and marketing and online business brain, we were like, what if we build a business together and we help entrepreneurs fill that gap between where they are now and being able to integrate AI into their daily life and their daily business processes. So we both decided to leave our jobs and leave our homes actually because we wanted to travel the world. So we decided, okay, we're gonna build a business around AI and help entrepreneurs, and we're gonna see the world while we do it. And so that's what we've been doing for almost 2.5 years now.
Amazing. I love that. Now, I know Lauren wasn't able to join us today, but I'm excited to dig into your specialty, which is the sales and the marketing and the messaging part. And I know you
Yeah.
and I both geek out on messaging a little bit. So, when it comes to messaging, what are you seeing as the biggest struggles for the entrepreneurs, the coaches, the consultants that you're working with? Where are people getting stuck, and why do you think that happens?
Yeah, so it's interesting. There's been these like phases that we've seen happen as AI first came on the scene and as now more people are using it and its memory has been like, getting better for people. But we're still seeing a lot of the same common challenges where people are getting very generic or like robotic output. And there's little things that you can just see, oh, AI wrote that. That's one of the things that people are getting frustrated with, especially because we're just in living in a world where we're inundated with marketing left and right. It's social media, emails, everything.
Yep.
So one of the things that I think a lot of people are doing is they want to almost clone themselves when using AI. And they have this almost over reliance on it to get like really great output for them. And so there's this back and forth struggle to make it perfect. And often, like a lot of people don't have the proper training and systems and strategies to actually use AI to get like really aligned output for themselves. And there is a way to do that, and we can talk about that. But that can make it really frustrating when you like try to write something and then you have this back and forth conversation with AI trying to make it perfect when it's usually not going to be perfect. Like it might get you 80% of the way. And one of the things that we know that I think that would be really helpful for your listeners is whenever we're trying to create any kind of content or marketing copy, we always want to start with the idea or the framework first. And so once we can have that conversation with AI, let's say we want to write a piece of content for a LinkedIn post. First, we start with having it come up with the ideas, like let's brainstorm what we can talk about. Then you choose one that you want to talk about. And then before you actually have it write a post about, tell AI what your thoughts, what your beliefs, or the way that you would handle whatever that is. And then have it write from there. And I'm telling you, like this one little trick is going to make a huge difference in the output that you get from AI because it's already going off of your expertise and your beliefs. So that's one of the things that we see. There's almost this drift that happens if you don't put the human in AI when it comes to your marketing and your messaging. So, yeah.
No, that's such a good tip. So for those of you guys watching and listening, make sure you grab that sticky note and write that down. So what I'm hearing you say is we give them the context, right? So LinkedIn, or it's going to be a reel, or it's going to be a blog post, but then infuse you first, right? Before you let them write the first draft,
Yeah.
infuse you, as opposed to them writing the first draft and then trying to tweak it, guide it afterward. Because then it's almost, like you said, off base by that point. That first
Yeah.
draft doesn't even have you in it yet.
Yeah, it's we see that a lot. And a lot more people are now very open to using AI, and so they're starting to use it, but there's still this like feeling that a lot of people are having where it's, oh, like it doesn't quite feel like me or it doesn't feel aligned. And that's one of the big reasons why. And so there are ways that you can train your AI to understand your brand voice, your personality, which is a big one. A lot of people, and we just see this across the board with marketing and messaging, is that a lot of people don't infuse enough of their personality into it. And so there's this sameness, especially with the use of AI that we're seeing in a lot of content that's out there right now. And so some of the things that you can do, and we have systems and processes around this, like we built a custom GPT for our clients called the AI Copywriter. And what they do is they answer a few questions about themselves and their brand voice and the results they get for their clients. And then our prompts work their magic in the background and it creates a knowledge base that then they upload to their custom AI copywriter GPT in their account. And now every time they go to create content or any type of copy or even strategize around their content, it's already primed with all of that. It already knows their personality, knows their little quirks, their brand, their ideal clients, what their offers are, all of that. So now you get results so much faster that are so much more on target for your marketing. It's really quite incredible.
No, but if you think about it too, though, I mean, it makes sense, right? If you're thinking about this AI as almost your AI employee, right? This is your
Yeah.
new colleague. We used to do this in corporate all the time. I would never bring someone when I was at Johnson and Johnson or WebMD onto my team and just have them wing it, right? You would never say, "Oh, just based on what you did at your last job, right? Go ahead
Yeah.
and feel free to
Yeah.
write copy for us." Like you would give them a style guide, you'd give them a brand voice guide, right? You'd share what came before. So I think that makes a lot of sense that it's not like we're asking people to do more. It's actually very similar to bringing a human on board. It's not like you would let them just
You're
arrange
absolutely
it
right.
with your voice anyway. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's so funny because that's exactly like how we describe it to our clients.
Yeah. No,
Like you're
that's
training a
perfect.
new employee. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're bringing them into exactly your voice. I love that. So it sounds like that's one of the reasons why there is this kind of trap of getting overly generic or that uninspiring copy, whereas people who do this are able to get more compelling, more unique sounding, more in your voice sounding. Is there anything else specific that people are doing or should be doing to make sure that they're not falling into that trap of, like you said, oh, you're reading that copy and you're like, oh, yeah, AI wrote that.
Yeah, okay, so first of all, AI loves to use emojis a lot, right? And so that's a really dead giveaway. There's also the long dash symbol. If you haven't noticed this yet and you're listening, start looking for it. But it's not the dash that most of us have on our keyboards. It's an extra long dash. And so AI uses that dash all the time in copywriting. And so you can instruct it, never use those dashes, don't use more than four emojis or whatever it is, but you can like crank the dials of AI by prompting it with exactly what you want. And yeah, I would say those are some of the other giveaways that kind of just have it make it really easily recognizable. And it's interesting because we live in a world where like AI is going to be writing the content and the copy for a lot of people. And one of the big questions is like, how is that going to make people feel? And so the reader on the other side, because we are living in a world where like the trust is at its lowest, and we need to make sure that we are building up that trust in order to make those connections with our prospects and ideal clients, right? So what are some of the things that we can be doing, even though we are relying or using AI to help us get further faster in a lot of our repetitive and redundant business tasks, right? But do it in a way where we're ensuring that like our voice and our authenticity is still really a part of it. And the other thing I'll say to your question is making sure that it's part of the process. Okay. AI, we always say, let AI be part of the process, not the end product. And that's why I think putting your own expertise or wisdom before you create the content or the marketing assets, and then also at the end, after it's created, read through everything, make sure that you read it out loud and it feels like you. And so just do that alignment check, right? If you were in your ideal client's shoes and you read that, like how would that feel? We've been doing a lot of deep research on marketing trends and what's working in 2025. And what we've been seeing is actually some of it's been a little bit surprising to us because there have been big shifts over the last couple of years. And people actually are responding extremely well to personality and even to like bits of humor woven into their marketing. So the statistics on that were actually like really surprising to us. But we were like, wow, I feel that's also a more like when you can show up authentically, it's a more enjoyable way to live your day-to-day life and be in your business. And I think oftentimes people, especially when they're trying to grow their business or get it off the ground, there's this essence of, I need to get this right. Let me see how so and so does it, and let me try to replicate how they do it for myself. And so one of the things that we do with our clients is help them get over any of those types of limiting beliefs around like what they're like supposed to look like in terms of what their industry peers or competitors are doing, and how can we show up in a really authentic way and weave our own personality into it, right? So that it feels good for us and it's going to resonate really deeply with our ideal clients. And there is a way to train AI to embody that, right? When you're getting content from it. So it's really cool. We geek out about this all day long, but we just keep learning. And it's fun and it's awesome because it's kind of like it's a new horizon, right? No one's done this before. So we get to just explore and uncover things and then get to share these insights with everyone. And yeah, it's been a really fun journey.
I'm super curious. So I'm sure that you have a couple stories that you could dig into, but is there one story that you'd be willing to share? And you don't have to reveal any identifying information of a client that maybe had that aha moment of the content that they were doing before through AI was not, right? You said not them. It didn't sound like them, or maybe they hadn't even really been using AI. And then after working with you, were able to see that transformation. Is there anyone that stands out in mind that you would be
Yeah.
willing to story?
Yeah, actually, there is one client. So, one of our client is she teaches Reiki practitioners how to build a business around Reiki. She also hosts retreats, and she was really struggling to grow her business. And she was excited and really wanted to reach that like 10K a month mark in her business. And she had a retreat that was coming up. She was marketing for it pretty hard, and she had zero sales. And so she reached out and was like, can I get on a call with you guys? And so we were looking at her marketing messaging, and it was very generic. It sounded like, you know, the way that everyone talks about Reiki. And so what we did was we ran a deep research report for on ChatGPT for her business, uncovering Like, what are her ideal clients? Like right now in 2025, what are her ideal clients feeling in this moment? And what are the words that are going to inspire them to take action to enroll in her program? What do we have to do? And this is a methodology we developed called the urgency effect, because a lot of times in marketing, a lot of offers are nice to haves, right? So they're positioned as a nice to have, not a necessity. And that is a huge opportunity. So if you're listening and you think about the way that you position your offer in your business, is it positioned as a luxury or a nice to have, or is it positioned as a must have necessity? Because the cool thing is you don't have to totally change your offer. You just need to change the way you talk about it. And so that's what we did with her messaging. And before she was like, come to this awesome Reiki retreat. It's going to be so relaxing. You're going to be surrounded by others. It's going to light you up, blah, blah, blah. So we switched it from that to the world feels heavy right now. Here's how we hold the light. And then it was, what if you're not just hearing all of this, you're absorbing it too. And so come to this retreat so you can get that support that you need right now. And within 8 days, she had 8 enrollments in her retreat.
Amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah. And we wove in some of her own, like we asked her, like, hey, what are like your experiences of how this has helped you get through these times? So we were able to take that and weave it into that messaging to like really make a difference to connect with the hearts and the minds of the people that she's serving.
I think that's so important for people to remember. And yes, this is where you pull out the sticky notes, everyone. But exactly what you were just talking about, Lauren, that it wasn't it wasn't about sharing how much they were going to get at the event or like how many days the event was going to be or where it was located, or it wasn't about the features. And it wasn't even so much about, like you were saying, the generic benefit, but making it a specific why now benefit, right? What is the urgency around it? And it's funny too, because everyone who listens to this knows that one of the things I do is marketing training for teams. And that's a big shift that we try to focus on. Even when I'm working with big brands like Estee Lauder or Mattel, we're still trying to get that shift in the way that marketers, because we get so in love with our thing, right? We get so in love with the thing we're selling or the thing we're creating, or like this, the retreat, that we're so used to talking about it that we forget to go back to their lens, right? And so I
Yeah.
love the fact that you were talking about, but what if this is what's in their brain now? Like they're afraid that they're actually being sucked into this or they're being
Yeah.
contaminated. They need a space where they can clear, right? They can get back to this. So I think that's such an important message, is really thinking about, okay, it's not about getting AI to just create more benefits for you. It's the right benefits. How can we use it to help us get back to actually being more in tune with what our audience really wants from us and really
Yeah.
actually needs in their reality, not just the reality we think they're experiencing.
Yeah, and that is one of the like most powerful aspects of AI. So oftentimes as entrepreneurs, one of the other things, a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with when it comes to marketing and messaging is that they're not clear on what those true pain points or desired results of their ideal clients are, or they're too broad in who they're speaking to. And they could be speaking to people who are at all different parts of a journey in whatever business or life or parenting. And so AI is really great at helping you analyze and narrow down so that you know exactly what the words are to be using to connect with them in a way that is going to inspire action.
I love that. Now, I know one of the things that you guys specialize in is actually helping people apply AI not just to their general marketing messaging, but also specifically to their sales sequence and actually being able to use that to refine it to increase conversions, which we all would love. So tell us a little bit more about that, because I'm always fascinated too, because as someone's going through the sales journey, some journeys we know are like immediate, maybe like less than a day. And some journeys, even in B2B scenarios, could be months. So, how are you using this tool, AI, to help people refine those touch points as they're going through the journey that ultimately leads to those higher conversions?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things to talk about because my background's in sales. So I actually did 5 years of high ticket sales calls for these very successful coaches and probably had over 2,000 sales calls that I've been in over this time. So that was basically just an education in what's working, what's not, different types of industries, and really starting to like analyze. And so I've taken everything that I've learned, also from working with very experienced sales trainers out there, and have developed this system to be able to, and this is what's really cool about the work that we do, is to like weave in a layer of empathy, understand buyer psychology on a really deep level. AI is great at this, right? Because when we can understand and feel and what our ideal clients or our audience is really needing and wanting and needs to hear in order to feel confident or get over limiting beliefs or get over objections that might be holding them back from saying yes, like we can use AI to uncover those things. And then we can improve our sales process with that knowledge. We specifically help high ticket coaches, consultants, course creators. And one of the things that we have is we've developed a sales coach custom GPT that has a knowledge base about everyone, their business, their ideal clients, and you can actually upload your call transcripts and it will analyze your calls. You can practice objection handling. You can practice the types of discovery questions to be asking. It'll show you, like, when you had a call, like, these were the hidden objections that you missed. So it's like we're able to like laser pinpoint the places that need improvement in your sales process so fast that it's going to, if you put the effort in and you actually take the time to just get that system solidified, like what are the most common objections? How should I be handling them? You work through it with your sales coach. And you can do this in regular chat GPT too. It won't be as highly trained or dialed in as a sales coach GPT, but you'll still get like good results. And then we can start actually like implementing and applying what we've learned to help us improve our conversion rates. Because we know that one of the fastest and easiest ways to increase your revenue is to increase the conversions of the calls you're already having. And so AI is just, it's an incredible partner with that you can have as like your 24/7 sales expert.
I have to say, and then infusing your experience, like you said, sales, in my experience, the more you do it, the more you just, like you said, you see those little hidden parts of what people are saying but not saying. So,
Yeah.
having gone through 2,000 conversations, I can't imagine the things that you're able to pick up now in calls.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. But
yeah.
it's even cool at things like creating follow-up strategy, writing follow-up emails, helping you come up with, so if you track your sales metrics, what metrics should you be tracking, and what are the goals that you have, let's say next quarter or this year, and you can actually work with AI and it'll break down all your numbers and tell you exactly what you need to be doing in order to reach your goals.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Unbelievable. Let me ask, what is one of the favorite things that you've had an aha moment about recently? Something that obviously you've seen the power of AI, you've seen what you've been able to deliver for your clients. Is there anything that surprised you even recently about, oh my gosh, wow, it really can do that?
Yeah. So I'll say the newish deep research feature in
Mhm.
ChatGPT, it's changed everything. And most people don't quite understand what it's capable of yet. So I'll share a little bit of insight on that for you. When you're running a business or starting a business or about to make changes, there's a lot of research that should be happening in order to justify the moves you're about to make.
Yeah.
And so that's very time consuming and laborious, and you even have to know what it is that you should be doing. With deep research feature, you can research all these different angles of things in your business, and it will actually go out and it will scan forums and Reddit and social media platforms and all kinds of places, websites, and it will bring back the information that is like most helpful for you. And I hope I'm doing this justice because when I'm telling you, so we use it, we've probably run, I don't know, 100 deep research reports at this point because it's so much fun and it helps us clarify all of the information about our ideal clients that we're working with. So you can understand another business very fast or another audience very fast by using this deep research feature. And all you'll do is say, okay, for example, I want to understand the marketing trends that are working right now in 2025 for an online course business, so whatever, you can explain what the context is that you want it to research. Then it'll ask you a few follow-up questions to get like the context that it needs from you. And then it's going to go out and it's going to take maybe 10 to 30 minutes, but it will scan the internet, it will scan all these forums, and it will bring you back a report that is like going to save you so much time in your business. I'm not exaggerating. Like it is credible. So you can go deep, deep, deep into the research, like very narrow, or you could go broad. And you get with the $20 a month plan, you do get 10 uses currently of deep research per month. So if you haven't tried it yet, I would really suggest you just go explore with it a bit and give it a test run because it's incredibly powerful. And even ask ChatGPT, what can I use deep research for in my business? And it's going to give you a whole list of recommendations.
I love that. I love that. I'm a big advocate for it too. I just tested it out. Obviously, I haven't run 100 yet, but I've been testing it out because I'm in the midst of writing my book. And so I've been doing it for research on some of those topics.
Amazing.
So super helpful. So for those of you guys watching and listening, if you have not tested it out yet, definitely listen to Lauren. Try it out. Amazing. Lauren, as we're getting to the end of our episode here, I always ask the question, I'd love to know, how do you stay inspired? How do you stay up to date on what's working? Obviously through AI, but what keeps you inspired as you and Lauren are building these amazing systems, these amazing tools to help entrepreneurs? How do you yourself stay inspired?
I would say there's two things. So the first is finding other experts who are on like the bleeding edge of what we're doing. So for example, I was just watching some replays from the Abundance 360 event that Peter Diamandis had recently about the future of AI. And that was so inspiring to hear from the people that are really at a high level doing this work and where they see it going. So that's one part of it is like trying to understand how to look ahead. And so that's exciting for us to see where and think through like where this is going. And the other side of it is really just spending time with our actual clients and learning from them and getting on calls with them, even when we don't have to, but we want to, because we want to hear like what their experience is like. And so just like boots on the ground also to like kind of stay abreast of like, what's really happening and how people are experiencing this using these types of tools in their business every day.
Amazing. I love that. I agree. I also find the days that I spend all day alone, even if I'm on virtual calls, it's not as energizing as when you're actually getting together with people. So I love that you're, when I don't even have to talk to my clients, I actually want to talk to my clients. That's a good
Yeah,
sign.
yeah.
Amazing. So I know, thank you so much for sharing what you did. I have a full sticky note. I'm sure everyone else does too. Is there a best place to connect with you? So if someone was inspired, light bulbs were going off, they're like, oh my gosh, I have a question for Lauren. Where would you suggest people connect with you after this?
Yeah, so you could email me directly. Our email address is hi@clarityplaybooks.com. Or if you want, you could head over to our website, thelawrence.ai. There's a couple of ways you can connect with us on social media. There's also a link to, we have a free AI community where we meet up once a month and focus on one of the latest trends and provide a ton of value to our members. So feel free to head to the community tab on our website and join us. And you can bring your questions as well on those calls. So we would love to meet you.
Fantastic. So wherever you're watching or listening to this, we'll make sure to include Lauren's contact information as well as the links to get in touch. But thank you again, Lauren, so much for joining us today and sharing your wisdom, how to use AI more effectively, how to move people through that sales cycle using AI. And then my favorite, of course, is how to get the human back in using that deep research to really, truly understand what's going on with our audiences. So thank you, Lauren, for being here today.
Thank you, Mary. My pleasure. It was fun.
All right, for those of you guys listening and watching, thank you for joining us on the Sticky Note Marketing Show. If you like this, please share it with a friend, subscribe, make sure you're getting notified of our next episode because we've got other guest experts coming to share their wisdom with you. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode.